All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Good, good. It's good to see your faces. I want everybody to sit up, have some energy this morning, because for me to stand up here for 45 minutes, I'm going to need to feel some energy from you. I don't got it myself. I'm tired. I can't even lie. I'm tired. I had a long night. So the first thing I want to do is...
you said not 45 minutes. That's too long. So.
Okay, yeah, 30 minutes, 10:45. That works. So the first thing I want to do is thank Warnell for bringing me out here today. You know, my life has been challenging, but I've had a lot of successes. And one of the things that I know I've had a lot of is second chances. Second chances, third chances, fourth chances. I didn't grow up in a tough situation. I grew up with relative privilege. But what I did as a kid or as a high school student was I made a lot of mistakes. Has anybody here ever made a mistake? Okay. Oh, just not you though. No? Yes? Okay. So, you know, I made a lot of mistakes and I was able to grow and learn through those mistakes, but I never lost it all, right? I never lost my life. I never lost my family. I was able to maintain. And, you know, going into the space of lobbying, does everybody know what lobbying is? You know what a lawyer is, though, right? Somebody tell me what a lawyer is. You said you know. How about you? What do lawyers do? Help case out. Yeah, that's one way. You got something?
Judges, they lawyers, they basically prove people guilty or innocent.
Yeah, they prove people guilty or innocent. And there were several times in high school where I probably could have used a good lawyer, but I had good parents, so it was all good. So I'm just saying, I've been through some challenges, and when I started my lobbying firm, it's called Public Interest Advocacy. And what I do is I represent the California Public Defenders Association and the Children's Defense Fund California before the California legislature. You all know what the legislature is? That's where all the laws are made. So every law that governs you, that you're living under right now, it's created in the California legislature. Your elected officials, senators, assembly members, are you familiar with those people? So those are the folks who are making the decisions who I'm talking to every single day. And so the reason I feel so privileged to be there is because out of all the thousands of lobbyists in California, there's only one 30-year-old, 32-year-old now, black man who represents exclusively clients who help young black people. Guess who that is? It's me. Yeah. We're good about that. So, why? Because we all deserve opportunity. I had so much opportunity, and like I said, second chances growing up, but we all deserve a fair shot at life, an opportunity to succeed and be our best. But sometimes we face some challenges in getting to that place, right? Have any of y'all faced challenges in life? Where you think that maybe the opportunity was there, but it's being taken away from you just a little bit. And I've been in that place too. But before I continue on, I just want to learn a little bit about you, because I want to teach you all a lesson about public speaking real quick. The number one thing that you need to do is, can anybody tell me this? Kelly?
Wait, for what?
The number one rule in public speaking.
The number one rule, I feel like you need to speak clearly so they can hear you.
That's one thing, yeah, but who can hear you?
The audience.
Your audience. So you need to know your audience. I don't want to get up here and act like I know your story, I know you, and I can just tell you what I think you need to hear. I want to know what y'all think you need to hear this morning. So I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves and just tell me who you are, what grade you're in, and one goal that you have, and something that you need to hear today. Something like that. So why don't we start right here, and we'll do it real quick, 15 seconds. No, you can sit down. That's fine.
My name is Jovan. I'm an incoming senior at Vision Academy, and my goal is to make it out of Oakland and go to college.
Okay.
Mostly university, and one thing I want to learn here is like self-discipline.
Self-discipline. All right, great.
I have one thing.
Thank you, Jovan.
You got to speak like you're speaking to an audience, not just to him, so the whole room can hear you, even if you don't. Speak loud.
My name is Jalen. I go to community high school. I'm sophomore.
You can't hear back here.
I'm incoming sophomore.
You know, we might as well stand up now. You guys.
I'm incoming sophomore student in high school.
Speak to everybody, yeah.
My name is Jalen. My mama's right there. My sister is, I don't know.
One thing I want to learn today is discipline, how to get better, and the goal is to be the best.
Right. Okay, good. 2 disciplines. That's what's up. Young man here.
Alright. What's up, everybody? My name is JJ. I'm an incoming senior at Vision Academy. And my number one goal is to go to college. And what I want to learn here is self-discipline.
You want to learn what?
Self-discipline.
Okay.
That's a lot. Y'all have a meeting before this?
He's going to say.
I'm at the Academy. I'm an incoming junior. My goal is to go to college, play basketball.
Nice.
What I want to learn here is consistency.
Okay. Okay. That's good. These are good. Yes, sir.
My name is Darius Deloney. I'm finna be a sophomore. I go to Vision Academy.
Okay.
And my goal is to basically just be the best at whatever it is I do.
Excellent.
And my goal, or what I want to learn is how to be a leader.
How to be a leader. Okay. Good.
My name is Kendrick. I'm an incoming junior. My goal is to go to college and make it to the NBA.
All
And
right.
I learn is discipline.
Okay. So far, I've got discipline, consistency, and how to be a leader. Right? Okay. Let's keep on it. This is going to change my whole speech, so this is all just off the top. I wasn't going to talk about none of that. Go ahead.
My name is Daniel Cologne. I'm an incoming sophomore at St. Joseph's, and my goal is just to go to college, and I want to better myself and see how hard I can push myself.
Okay, great. And what was your thing that you hope to learn?
I just want to see how hard I can push myself.
Okay. Okay.
My name is Raymond White, and I'm an incoming sophomore at West Campus. My goal would be to go to college and find a good career, and something I want to learn how to do is to be able to focus on what I'm trying to do better.
Okay. That's kind of like discipline a little bit too, right? Staying focused. Okay, young man.
My name is OJ. I'm becoming a freshman at St. High, and my goal is to go to college.
Okay.
And I want to learn.
Okay, great. I feel like some of y'all just copy it, but it's all right. It's all right. Right here.
Hi, my name is Isaiah. I'm an incoming sophomore at CaliphAssagai.
Great.
And my goal is to get a full ride scholarship.
Nice.
For basketball.
Okay.
And a goal, something I want to learn is to stay consistent.
Okay, great. Oh yeah. Okay, that's all the sage folk. Actually, you know what? You guys showed up, right? How you doing this morning? Good. So just tell me your name, where you go to high school, or you tell us your name, where you go to high school, and a goal that you have, and then what you're hoping to get out of today. So you can stand up and you can talk to everybody.
My name is Jordan. I go to Alameda High.
Speak louder.
What? To make it to a college, to get a scholarship to a college, to help my family.
Okay. And what's something that you hope to learn today? I know you just got put on the spot because you just walked in and we've been doing this for a while, but what's something you hope to learn from today while you're here? Okay, that works.
My name is Steven, and I go to the Vision Academy.
Can't hear you.
My name is Steven. I go to the Vision Academy, and what I'm looking forward to getting today is to get better.
Get better. All right, great. So, I thank you all for sharing. Everybody give your teammates a round of applause. Public speaking is like the #1 fear ever. Did you know that? Like, people are more scared of public speaking than they are of skydiving and alligators and sharks and stuff. It's serious. So getting up is not always easy to do, so I want to recognize you all and the former members of Team Sage for doing that this morning. So, discipline, consistency, what was the other one? Being a leader. Excellent. So I want to just tell you a little bit about myself, and throughout the story I'll tell you where I learned my lessons in those areas. So let's start with leadership. When I look around this room today, I see a bunch of leaders. And who can tell me what a leader actually is? Just one example, anybody throw your hand up. What is a leader? Yes, sir.
A person that people follow, like something that he does and people follow what he does.
Right. Okay, that's the perfect answer. Something that people follow what that person does. So leadership isn't necessarily a position, right? Leadership is about action. Because it seems like what you're saying, what I believe, what I think we can all agree, is that leadership is about an example. So let me ask you all, are each one of you leaders?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, everybody. Good. Everybody feels like they're a leader in this room. Tell me who was impacted by your behavior?
What do you mean?
When you take an action, who is it that's following you? Just throw out a couple things. Is it a little brother, a little sister?
Teammates.
Your teammates. Teammates, your family, right. All of us are only as strong as the person as the weakest link. That's what they say, right? And to be a team and to be a team where all of you guys are leaders, I'm guessing you win a lot of games. Because you have a high standard. Does he say no? Because you have a high standard. Leadership is all about setting the example. So learning more about leadership is really about learning about accountability. Learning about knowing what your standard is for yourself and always living out that standard and never falling below the standard that you set for yourself. So I didn't know that I was a leader growing up. I had no idea. I was just, I thought, kind of a bad kid. And I remember there was this one day I got in trouble. My dad's gonna love this story because I was in trouble with him specifically, just so you know. So I was with my friends and we were getting into some trouble and we were doing, have everybody heard of egging or whatever? You egg people's houses? Okay, but y'all have never done it, right? Nobody here? Good. So back in the day, I got in trouble because we went and we were, I think I was in high school, and we went out and we were, messing up people's houses. And when we got back, we got caught so bad. We got like chased down by this person from their house, and it was a friend of mine. It was the worst situation ever. My dad had to come and get us from this person's house. We were caught, right? They didn't call the cops. Like I said, I got some second chances. They didn't call the cops. Nothing really happened, but it was embarrassing. So we come back, and I got my older brother with me, and I've got other older people with me. And then my dad talks to each of them, and then he says, and you are in the most trouble. And he got on me, now I'm the youngest. And I said, well, Dad, why am I the one getting in trouble? Why is it on me? And he said, because I know if you had done something different, they all would have. And I was like, wow. And then I thought about that being power, right? If you have people following your example, you can use it two ways. You can use it for evil, or you can use it for good. And after that experience, I found my path. Actually, that was when I was really young, but I found my path later as a leader in college. So I went to UC Davis, and I was encouraged to run for student body president by Lavelle Simpson, Warnell's son, who was a leader in my life. And he was a leader because he was one step ahead of me. He got into student government a little bit ahead of me, and he pulled me into it as well. Everybody say, reach back. Reach back. See, you can have followers, but you can build followers and gain followers by getting people in line with what you're trying to do. And by bringing people into the space that you dominate. So when I got to UC Davis, I didn't realize that I was there to be the president. But I saw the first day of school, I met this, well actually, I won't even say who he was, but this black dude comes up to me and we start talking and he says, oh yeah, I'm the president of the university. And I said, wait, they let black people do that? Like, you could be the president of a mostly predominantly white university as a black man? We had 2.3% of the population at UC Davis. That's tiny. That's less than half I think that's maybe 20% of the population of the state in African Americans, 2.3% population of African Americans at the campus. And I saw this dude and I said, wow, this is something that's possible for me. So without him doing anything, he was already setting an example for me just by showing me what's possible. Everybody say, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible, right? So when you look at me and you look at my experience and you look at the people that you see who are successful, they're all leaders in your life because they're showing you what's possible. That's why we get brought to speak to these groups, right? I'm not here because I'm necessarily special or I've done anything really impressive, because anybody can do it if they have the right mindset and the right commitment and the right goals. Does that make sense? All right, so it's possible for all of you. So I want to now talk about your goals. So everybody said their goal was go to college. That was like across the board, right? Anybody have a goal besides go to college? So that's two. Oh yeah, yes sir. Make it to the league. Make it to the league. Okay, so that's several years out. So for those who aren't necessarily planning on going to the NBA, what are you going to do the first day after college? Anybody have an answer for that? Anybody thinking about the future in a major way?
Get a job.
Get a job, okay, you know what job? Become a businessman or something. No, this is a very clear goal. So, I want to talk to you now about this because, we talk about discipline and consistency, and the question is, for what? Discipline and consistency to get you where? It's hard to go within yourself and change your behavior and become better and be great and have discipline and have consistency if you don't know what the payoff is. If it's losing weight, that's pretty clear. But if it's about your life, you kind of want to know what all this is leading towards. I've exhibited discipline and consistency throughout my life at various times. The bar exam, discipline and consistency. But there have been times when I had neither of those. And those are the times that I failed. And those are the times I was mostly lost. So when I've been successful, it's because I had a clear vision for my life. Everybody say, I've got a vision. I've got a vision, right? So let me ask you, tell me what a vision for your life might be. Let's go with you right here. What would a vision for your life look like? Knowing what you want to be. Career. Okay, so once you have a career, that's your entire life? It could be, yeah. I mean, if you pick the wrong career or the right. See, so many of us right now in the high school, we're thinking about, how do I get to college? What's my major going to be? And then that's it. And if that's the end, the day you graduate from college, then you are going to be lost. It's going to be hard to find that discipline. It's going to be hard to find that consistency. Even in college, it's going to be hard to find discipline and consistency because you don't necessarily know what you're working for. It's another graduation. That's nice. You got a degree. That's nice. But what's next? So really, it's about looking beyond the next step, beyond the next step, and all the way to exactly where you want to be. So I want to pose a question to all of y'all that really helped me in creating a vision for my life. What would you do if you knew you would not fail? If you knew that your success was guaranteed, would it be easier for you to create a vision for what you'll do after college? Is anybody, can I get a head shake, a nod? Okay. Now, I want to ask somebody, just share with me, Javon, what would you do if you knew you would not fail? If you knew everything was going to go right and you were absolutely going to succeed?
If I knew everything that was going to go right, then I will go to the league. But then also while I'm in the league, I would try to like start up something. So like if basketball, like you said that you already got success, but if I wanted to like stop playing basketball and do something else, I will also have that on the side so I can still make money. Okay, yeah, and you definitely gonna have to stop playing at some point, right? Yeah. I mean, it ain't forever, right? So good one, yeah.
What I'll do, probably just do what I want because you already know what I'm gonna do.
Right. Did you hear that? He said, I'm going to do what I want because I already know what the outcome is going to be. Is that how we all live our lives? We do what we want because we know what the outcome is going to be? No. What do we do? How do we act? Somebody else, right back here.
Live conservatively.
Live conservatively. Right. Same thing, everybody agrees, live conservatively? Y'all are a team for real, right? Yeah, that's right. Most of us look at what might go wrong and what might happen if we fail more than we look at what might happen if we succeed. And therefore, we don't necessarily pursue those things that we really want to do. And the key in my success has been always pursuing exactly what I wanted to do. So I talked about having a vision in life, and I'll tell you, when I was in college, I was all about leadership. You know, I did the Senate, I ran for student body president, I won that by a large margin, and the reason was because I knew that my words and my actions could impact others, and I found something that I wanted to do with my life, which was serve. And did you know we're all actually here to serve? A thing called your life purpose. Everybody here know what their life purpose is? Yeah? Oh, yeah, what is it? Do you know? Yeah, what's your purpose?
In life?
Yeah.
To live life.
Okay, that's what's up, yeah. Anybody else? So I want to pose one more question, which is, if you're looking at this vision for your life, you know, one thing you want to ask yourself is, what would you do if you would not fail? The other thing you want to ask yourself is, what's your life service? Who are you going to help? What kind of contribution are you going to make? You said you're leaders, and to what end? Because if you got people following you, you got to know where you're going to take them, right? So does everybody know that there's no job in the world, there's nothing you can do in the world to make money that doesn't involve serving somebody else? Does that make sense? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, he's providing a service. Steve Jobs, Apple, he's providing a service. Everybody's providing a service. So when you want to look at beyond your college career, ask yourself, what would you do if you could just do what you want and you knew it would happen? If you knew you would not fail, and what's your service going to be? So for me, I thought I was going to be the president, like of the United States. I walked around college telling people like, I'm gonna be the president. It's not a big deal. I know I can do it. I don't believe I'm gonna fail. Everything's gonna work out perfectly for me. And so I lived my life as if I was on the road to being the president. So I'm just gonna throw out my resume real quick, just because I wanna illustrate a point here. I was senator at UC Davis. I was president at UC Davis. Then I went and worked in the California State Senate. Then I worked in then I went to Washington, D.C. and worked there. Came back, worked in the mayor's campaign. Then I worked in the California State Assembly. Then I went to law school at UCLA, and I worked for a legal service organization doing free legal services for the poor. Then I worked for the Public Defenders Association. Then I worked for a nonprofit in Oak Park doing land use work in that community. I worked in another nonprofit, and then I started my own business. The whole time, and I'm 32. This whole time, I executed my plan perfectly. If I was trying to be the president, I would be on track. I moved to the right neighborhood. I was walking precincts. I was going to run for office. And then my vision changed. I decided that there was something more out there for me. But the reason that I was able to accomplish all those things is because I had so much discipline. I knew that when I looked at every decision I was going to make, I had to ask myself, is this getting me closer or further away from being the president? That's a silly question. But for me, it was the question that drove my life. And so when you're thinking about your goals and you're thinking about your vision, you want to have discipline, ask yourself, every decision that you make, is it getting me closer or further away from where I'm trying to go? Does this make sense? Yeah. Can I get an amen on a Saturday? Yeah. Thank you. So that's where you're going to get your discipline and your consistency from. So your vision is kind of like your North Star. You're going to have things that you want to achieve, and if you know where you're going, you might not know the actual path to getting there, but you know what it is, so you start to overcome those challenges. So what are some of those challenges that we face in life when we're trying to accomplish goals? Can anybody throw out one or two challenges that you might face in life? Time. That's a good one.
Losing the loved one.
Losing a loved one. That's a huge one. Thank you, sir. I know I'm sweating profusely. I was trying to ignore it. You pulled me out with some assistance. Much appreciated. It's hot in here.
That's what love does.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Love sweats a lot. All right. Thank you. So you said losing a loved one. Okay, that's another one. Who else? What else might be a challenge for you?
Society shapes us.
Society shapes you. Right. Okay. So absolutely, it's so important to be able to rise above all those things, all those losses. So in the time that I told you about my little progression towards becoming the guy I am today, whoever future president type, thank you so much. I experienced a lot of challenges. So when I remember when I had just won my presidency, and I had it was like the middle of the semester, and I had half the year had passed already, and we just finished like my last day of finals. And so this is my last day of finals. I just won the presidency. I just turned 21, so that was a good year, and I was having a great time. And I called my mom on the last day of school, and I was like, hey mom, I'm gonna stay around, party with my friends because it's the last day of school, but I'll come home tomorrow. So I went to my girlfriend's house, and we went and partied with all our friends and everything, and wake up the next morning, and frankly, the party was still going. It was college. It was the first day of summer. Things were going down. And I got this call from my stepdad. And my stepdad doesn't call me, so I was concerned. And I pick up the phone, and my stepdad says, Khalif, I'm sorry to tell you, but your mom just died today. And I'm like, stuck, right? Like, wait, I talked to her yesterday, and I said I would see her tomorrow. Tomorrow is here, and she's dead. My first day of summer. My mom. I'm the president. I'm supposed to live. I'm supposed to give. And I lost the person most important to me in this world. For the next 10 years, I tried to deal with that loss. I told you guys about all that stuff that happened. Would you believe me if I told you I was a drug addict that entire time? I was trying to cope with my mother's death with drugs. I've been sober like a year and a half. This is a new me. time, I learned a lot about what holds you back, because you know, part of it was the voice in my head telling me, this life isn't even worth it. You lost somebody so important to you, the person who was the anchor in your entire life, and now you're supposed to just like live, be happy, do stuff. Has anybody ever felt like that? Like, what is life about when you lose a loved one? Does anybody identify with that feeling? Have any of you guys lost somebody? Yeah, it's hard, right? It's like, okay, somebody wants to go do something fun, and you're like, man, I've really got some serious things on my mind right now. While you're thinking about feeling guilty for living your life to the fullest when the person who gave you life is now gone. These are challenges, frankly, I didn't manage well. And I used drugs for 10 years trying to get over that. But at the same time, and this is so strange, that vision kept me going despite that loss, despite that challenge. I had to change my dialogue because I had to tell myself, does my mom want my life to end because hers did? The answer was clearly no. And on the day that she died, I remember I was driving down Cobell Boulevard in Davis, California, and I saw this big semi-truck coming towards me. And I was going back to the house where I lived with Warnell's son. And the first thing I thought was, I want to be with my mom. I want to swerve into the truck. And the truck, I'm glad it was going fast, because I was thinking about it and I was looking at it, and by the time I started turning my wheel, it went right by me. And I thought to myself, what the hell was I about to just do? Let me get my stuff together. But it still took a lot of time to get over that. But in the end, when you lose somebody, it's a message to you about your life and what you're able to do. Who here is thankful to be alive? Right? Those people lived, and they want you to live now that they're gone, and you can live for them. Nobody passes away and wants you to have a terrible life after that. Does that make sense? Anybody who loved you, they're not like, yo, man, oh, his life sucks because I'm gone. You know, I hope he's sad about me every day for the rest of his life. No, they want you. They want you to feel better. They want you to go on and live. And what I realized is that the best thing I could do to honor my mother's death was to be the best man I could be, to be the person that she raised me to be, and to give back and help improve other people's lives. That's why I say I started my lobbying firm to help young black kids, because I want people to have second chances. Trauma is tough, man. People will tell me, oh, Khalif, you know, you had everything, man. You grew up, you know, with money or whatever. And it's like, my mom, she was an alcoholic. She was depressed. I lived with her by myself for a long time. I had a lot of problems. I started using drugs when I was 13. I say that I was a drug addict for 10 years, but it was 18 years. It was 10 years after she passed, 8 years before. There was always some problems in my life, and I never really dealt with it because of my early losses and my early experiences in my life. And that dragged me down emotionally. I was successful, like, in the academic sense, but spiritually I was dead until very, very recently. And it was this vision and this focus on what I could give back to the world that helped me get out of that dark place. So does everybody here know something that they could give? I just want to take a moment to have you share that. What can you give back to the world with this life that you have right now? What's something that you can give to other people?
Love.
Love. Yes. Love. Loyalty. Respect. Happiness. Happiness. Positive energy. Yes, yes. And how do you give happiness to somebody?
Well, always having always having like a smile on your face, a cheerful, like a cheerfulness about yourself, and always make sure everyone else is okay.
Kind of, yes. I won't say you're wrong, but kind of. Can you give happiness to somebody that if you don't have happiness yourself?
No.
No. You got to live it to give it. You got to have it to give it away. So when you're thinking about what you want to give and what you want to be in this world, it's something that you have to cultivate within yourself. A lot of us think our circumstances decide the direction of our life. Have you all ever been in a bad circumstance, grew up in a bad circumstance, had a bad circumstance at school, at home, any of that? Okay, is that yeses from everybody or no's from everybody? Yes, it's from everybody. Nobody's been without a bad circumstance. And one of the things that I know to be true is it's not truly our circumstances, it's the decisions that we make on how to address those circumstances. I decided to get high. Instead of praying, instead of trying to take counseling, instead of really just trying to experience what happened, I made a decision to get high, and that took me on the wrong path. But that was my decision. My mom's death didn't make me a drug addict, my decision did. I grew up in a household, again, where substance abuse was an issue. And I looked at my older sister who gave me drugs when I was like 13. She gave me meth when I was 13 years old. And I mean, she was not a good person, but she had her own pain. And I looked at her and her drug use and her boyfriend's drug use and my mom's drinking, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's adulthood. I'm gonna decide that this is how I'm gonna live my life because I wanna be a part of what they're doing, right? That was the circumstance I grew up in, but I decided to use those drugs. I have a brother, same household, same circumstance, same everything, never touched drugs. He's all buff and stuff. I'm gonna got a little bit of pudge. You know, he was an Olympic level, could have got an Olympic athlete, level athlete. I was lazy, I was smoking. You talk about discipline. I had no discipline until I ran for office and realized what it was gonna take to win. But until then, I had no discipline at all. But that wasn't because of my circumstance, it was just because of my decisions. So everybody say, I've decided.
I've decided.
You've got to decide, and we've got to decide together today that we're not going to let our circumstances and our losses dictate the outcomes of our life. Because it's truly about the decisions that you make today that will dictate your destiny. So right now you're at Team SAGE, Scholar Athletes Globally Emerging. You're here because you're committed to your scholarship, you're committed to your athletics, and you're committed to globally emerging. Who came up with that? You? Okay. Globally emerging. What does that even mean? Globally emerging? You just come out, is that you come out of the globe, you got like a little globe somewhere? How do you even do a global emergence? I read this and I was laughing because I said, so many of us think of ourselves as from Oakland, from Sacramento. There's this small spot that we got, and that's what we got to save, and that's where we're going to live, and that's who we're going to impact. But in reality, you're a citizen of the world. Billions and billions of people are out there, and even though you don't know it, they're impacted by you and what you do. And your ability to serve is not limited to your neighborhood or your block or your city. It's the globe. Everybody, right? I love, you all grew up with a black president. That was a joke to us. Like, we laughed. That was like, no, they never even black president. When I was 21, I was still joking about that. Black president, that's ridiculous. If it is, it's gonna be me. I was mad when Obama got elected. He took my spot. I thought that was for me. So, and you look at Obama's story, right? Man, lost his father, then his father died, lost his mother, grew up in the United States, had a not a great childhood, moving around a lot, ends up being the president. He emerged globally from that dark place, from being without a father, from being in poverty. He emerged as a global leader. Do y'all think you could have the same impact of the world as Barack Obama? Yes. If you just believe that you have the power to do so, and if you have that vision that will show you what it looks like for you to have that impact. I don't really want to be the president anymore. If I do, I'll do it. I got the power. But it's not my goal right now. My goal is to stand in front of rooms like this and help you, because I'd rather speak to the future presidents of the United States than be one. I want to inspire you to be the best that you can be, so that when you globally emerge, you're ready to serve, and you're ready to be a leader, and you're ready to make the impact that you were born to make. Because your life is not without purpose. The reason that the people that we've lost want us to live our lives is because maybe their purpose wasn't fully served, but their purpose might have just been you, and showing you what you can do, and letting you know that you can get past the pain, you can get past the struggle, and that you can emerge as somebody to be reckoned with in this world. So we cannot let the losses that we've experienced stop our progress. We've got to have a vision for our lives. You've got to have that discipline and consistency to get that vision. You've got to go for that thing we would do if we knew we would not fail, Because if we go for it, we'll have it. And we've got to be ready when it's time to emerge globally as leaders, scholar athletes, and great young men and family.
I am so proud of Khalid for coming up here and just opening it up and talking to you guys. I'm proud of you because you guys were engaged, you were taking it all in, and I think he's touched everybody's life in this room. And I think he has. I really think he has. And you know, we all want the best for you. We all want the best for you. I want you to always keep that in mind.